Hey people, I lost some subscribers with that last series on the Song of Solomon, and I guess they thought it was gross, but if your sister is your spouse, it might be pretty gross. But it really doesn't matter at all because YouTube let me know they would never monetize my channel, and the people that matter the most liked it. When I was a kid, my mama used to feed me some story about these Jews that had been run out of every country that they ever went to. And it explains why right here in the Bible. I'd run them out too. I thought I'd read some more in this Songs of Solomon. It's just got 8 small chapters in it. And so I was reading here in 4, and it's talking about this wife of Solomon. This with all the Song of Solomon is supposed to be all about his wife. And it says his sister, she was a haughty, but it was also his spouse, his sister wife. They give it this my, it's just not here. But yeah, she was a haughty. But it plainly says over here in Leviticus 18, if you want to believe their story, that, hey, it explains you don't uncover your sister's nakedness. You don't uncover the sister of your father's nakedness. It doesn't matter if she's a hoot or she's a haughty, you're not supposed to uncover the nakedness of your sister. In them laws, Leviticus, that's one of the first place I started reading when I was trying to figure out this language. I figured, I could figure out all the words between, because there's no way they could twist these words for your family members. Everybody had to know what that meant. But as I look closer to this old haughty over here, a haughty could be your sister with the same parents, or a half-sister, or just a relative, or a metaphor for Israel and Judah's relationship. Or it could mean beloved, that's the same word as David is beloved. Or it could be your bride, so your sister is your bride. So I'm sure the Jews were very confused people, if there ever was any Jews at all, because you can't prove it by this book. And this is repeated all through this Song of Solomon, my sister spouse. Here in 12, and up here in 10, how fair is your love, my sister spouse. In 9, again, my sister spouse. You have ravished my heart, my sister spouse. And I believe this is where it comes up first in Genesis 20:12. And end game and backwards, end game and momming, a haughty body baby, a haughty body baby. This is B-O-T and reads backwards, Y, B-O-T-Y, B-A-B-y, a haughty body baby. And then another I-E-I, yea, let there be, a V-A-A-K, a vacula, like a Dracula vacula, a vacuum to suck up the wind. When she walks by, you suck up her smell, a vacula. And so you can see here where, this is the butt, and it goes with the I-M over here. Reads backwards, the bottom, is the butt. You'll see that for on the 7th day, was the bottom count. You'll see it both in the Greek and in the Hebrew. The 7th was the bottom, and the vacula bottom, and then underneath AV, the bottom of a maybe, and AM, and then AVY, maybe, MABY, a maybe, what yea, YEY, what let be, what yea, and lays save, SAVE, LASE, lace, and then back again, SAVE. And so what yale, a yale is this goat, a 4-legged goat-like creature with spots and horns that twist around. And I'm going to give y'all some homework. I want somebody to look in and read up on the yale and see what's hidden inside of there. There's something inside the writings of a yale, the mythical creature, that's going to give a clue of what that means. And her teeth like a flock of sheep, that's even more proof right there. You can see it in this series called Godfather Bottom Tooth. But the name of this disease that caused their jaw to grow out longer on the bottom was named after the sheep. It's called the Habsburg jaw, or prognathism. And they'll tell you, this Agnes, it means pure, holy. And it's pure meaning parents were brother and sister is what that means. You're pure blood. But it actually comes from Agnes, which means a baby sheep. And they're born with no top teeth. They just have bottom teeth. And it's caused by inbreeding. So if you got the disease, somewhere back in your bloodline, your ancestors was brother and sister. And they're going to try to change the meaning, saying it come from Anna, from a Hebrew Hannah. But everybody knew that Agnes meant sheep. And it's right here. She's pointing, she's telling you, the sheep. It's the sheep. The baby sheep. I got the baby sheep disease, Agnes. Agnes means a lamb in Latin. So this means not only was his wife his sister, but she had already had the Agnes teeth already. And so that means she come from a long line of inbreds. And the reason this is done is because they try to keep the wealth in the family. So they already had a great wealth before this. So I want y'all to take this as humor, but I am by no means being facetious because there's nothing serious about this issue. I'm talking about this the same way the original writers did when they knew that there was no such thing as Solomon. It says Silomoe. There's no way you could get Solomon out of there. And even, with the OL, I give it a L as in a odal, and it's Silomole, mole, of the silo mole. Silo is something you store your grain in, and a mole is the rat in there eating your grain. So this here, you have ravished my heart, my sister spouse. This is, the heart is coming from this LB on the end. LB, they say it's heart, and it's where your word love come from. The B is pronounced as a V. They say that this dot gives it a sharp B, and without the dot is a V, but it's not. It all has to do with other vowel points. And this reads the love, and then the point to tell me to pick up the O underneath. And it's the love, and then OB, ub, and tain. The dot underneath, this single dot is A, Tani. The love obtain, my sister. And so this obtain, it comes from in, the love, and then OV, of, tain is to acquire, and to obtain the love of your sister. They were freaks. But no, I don't see this as sister. I see this as a hottie. And so it's, the love obtain a hottie. And this is a clave. It's a C, and there's no point, so I'm not going to pick up the under vowel, but this is a O. And then the L has the dot in it, so I'm going to pick up underneath there. This is the AV, CLAVE, of the hottie clave. And so I'm going to bet that that's where your word autoclave come from. They say this is, to self-key. Clave, the clavis is the key. Auto-locking. There's a strong pressurized steam heated, a hot clave. Used in laboratory experiments or cooking. A pressure cooker is an autoclave. And the love obtained from the autoclave, the hottie clave, is either your lunch or your drugs. And then you see it the same again down here, except they add an I here. It wasn't here between the T and the N, and these two marks on the top. And so it's the love of, and then T-O, T-A, the love of to in, and then tine, the love of to in a tine. And so this T-I-N-I is where your word tain come from, or teen. And that's where your word routine come from. If you're doing something routine, you're following the road of the same. Teen means the same. You know, a ing is a repeated cycle, you know, to make cycle. And then a batch, B-A-C-H-D, batched. Or here it's with a T, you know, batched. But it has some vowel points in this one. By hatched, by hatched. The dot above the N gives this a I, O-I-N-I from seeing. And so this I is reading with this I-K-I, a key, from seeing here. By hatched, the batch, Ankh. You know, Ankh, this is the link that links all the Egyptian pharaohs and gods. They all toted to Ankh. And then from its, and then pick up the O underneath. There's dot and the X and the O-U-R. From the hour, and then a O-N, on, and a key, on here. From its hour, on here. And, you know, that's one of the first things I figured out about that necklace that the Egyptians were wearing. I said, you know, that's got to be, those set of beads, that has to be a set of beads to show your stars, you know. They have different color beads. You know, you could take that off and throw it down and do your math real quick. You know, everybody would have their own personalized, you know, with a couple of different color beads showing where the planets were when they were born. You know, it would be a tool used by astrologers or foreseers. Love obtain a autoclave. Love of to in a time. I by hatched. I batched. I by hatched. From seeing here, by hatched, Ankh, from its hour on here. You know, you put your necklace on the table, your star chart, and then you put your Ankh on there, you know. It's a slide rule. And it's the left-hand path, you know, because you can see he's got two left hands. And don't tell me that these geniuses couldn't draw a right hand. You know, he's learning the left-hand path. You know, with one look of your eyes, with one link of your necklace, by hatched, Ankh, from its hour on here, a key, from its hour on a key, from its hour on here. And then I seen this word come up, and you know, this is the exact same as it was on the top of that last one I read in Song 7. And when I clicked on that word, it said it only come up one time. And it's the exact same way here. And I see that they give this the same meaning, beautiful, but they give it a different number and put it associated with a bunch of other words. You know, this is a 3302, but here it was a 3303. You know, and they say it means the same, the beautiful, and they give it a list of different words. And so, you know, this is a clue that something's trying to be hidden here. The exact same word, given a different word number. And so this tells me that at some time in the past, they had given it a different meaning. They had to give it a different word number. So I went to pick up some cigars last night, and I was talking to the girl at the register. There was two of them there, and the other one, she looked Asian. And I was telling the girl about this word for the hupaya, and that Asian girl recognized that much, you know, and it doesn't just mean a ghost, but it means, you know, of the dead, hupaya. And so I'm gonna bet, you know, that it means more like a spirit, because you see us still talking about the old autoclave over here, and it looks like he's distilling some spirits, you know. And it's from hupaya, from the spirit, in F-U-D, the food, O-D, the food, add a key, the food had here. How fair is your love is from the spirit, food had here, a autoclave. And then the M from, and the E reading with the next word backwards, you know, from who, both, you know, B-T-H, the dot over the T-H-O. And so it's, you know, in collect, B-T, tet, in collect, both. And then the O, reading back over here, the both of, to do, dicky dick. You know, your love is the D-O-D-I-K, the do dick. And so if you're Jewish, you know, that would be your sister that you're putting a dick to. So I imagine, this PIA would be your word fire, come from, from who Phi, Apu, would be the solid remains of a fire, the ash, Apu, and that's where you would collect lie out of. And so this do dick, might be read as do dyke, DYKE, is a ditch or a dam. Always has to do with something dividing water, a boundary marker, a puddle, pond, pool. And that's how you collect lie. You take a barrel of ashes and put you a small puddle of water in it, and the lie will weep out of a hole at the bottom. And you remember in that last movie, your breast was your dick. And it makes me think, that a dick is the spout down there on the bottom. And so that would be like SA, so dick. And this would be, D through dick. And, it means, you're not taking it off the top. Sometimes you want to extract, off the top. And sometimes you want to extract off the bottom. And that would be to dick it out of there. If you were trying to collect lye from ash, you would pour water on that ash, and then you would dick it out. So from who fire a poo, who's burnt ash and do dick, a autoclave, and from hub, HUB, from the center, and then two THs, of the tub, the TH, the, and then THOB. From the tub, would a dicky dick, would through here a key, would through here dick, to take out, and then MY, and the dot and the I saying to pick up the other I over here on top, and this is the O on the bottom, JOIN, and my join, where itch, where plants, where itchism, SIM, where itchism in a key in here, to make all, my mish and be in, this is the same word for in heaven, in by shamim, in heaven. And so the heaven is the dome over, that's the dome where you collect the spirits. The spirits, they evaporate up to the top, and they cool and they run on down. This is in the heavens where the spirits collect. And so I'm going to recommend against putting lye in a pressure cooker, but that's what it seems to say. From hupaya apu, from hufaya apu do dicky, from the fire ash do dicky, to do your extracting from the bottom, a autoclave, from hub, the tub, from hub, HUB, THOB, from hub, the tub, would a dicky dick, would add a key, would add here, dick, from ye join, from YI, and then Y again, or JOIN, from you join, where itch, WR, connect the first, itch, plant, where itchism in here, where itches IMN a key, where itchism in here, make all, my massive, is a mim, arbitrator who accessed and collected revenue, to access and collect, a mim, that's what happens when you go to heaven, you get accessed and collected, from call or make all, my massive, MSAV, my massive is a mim, to collect all my stuff, basamim, the same word as spices is the heaven, in the heavens, where it gets accessed and collected, basamim. Basamim. Alright, I'm going to cut this off here. I'll probably read more into this chapter, but I'm going to have to sidetrack. I done found a whole bunch of other stuff that's really interesting. And, when I was in school, when I was young, there was a saying, that said ain't a word because ain't in the dictionary. So don't use ain't. Because all these rednecks down south here, they all said ain't gonna. And it is a word, and it just because it's not in the dictionary doesn't mean it's not a word. They can't change the language just because they wrote it in the dictionary. Nowadays anybody could say something stupid, and if enough people say it, they'll put it in the dictionary. But the words they don't want us to know the meaning of, they'll remove them from the dictionary. And ain't means AIN, not T, not seal, not mark. That's not the mark that I want. Ain't, that ain't it. Not the mark. Ain't. And you'll see it right here. And ain't, AINT. And ain't of in. Not a good time. And ain't OV of BN. And ain't of in. No good a time. Ain't gonna.
Don't forget. I won't forget.
Alright, I'm gonna cut this off here. Good day.